Hello and welcome. We are Bleeding Tree Gaming. My name's Amy, aka Warpfiend, and I'm joined by.
I'm Tammy, aka the Autumn Witch.
And today we're taking a little look at the reveals that were shown off on Saturday. Now, this was at the Warhammer World Anniversary event. I was actually there and got to see all these models in person. So,
nice.
Yep, there's some I'm super hyped about. And let's start with the biggest hype one for me, which is this Orc Big Mech. Isn't he fantastic?
He is glorious. Now, the first thing to say about this is that it confirms the rumours. I mean, it's probably not rumours, to be fair.
It was a rumour engine thing that I think they showed the gun a while back.
Yeah, but Orcs are going to be the next Codex. Which is handy because they only tend to get one in addition, and maybe it might be worth me buying the actual data cards for them.
Yep, so it definitely sounds like we've got more Orcs coming up. Whether there's any more models, we don't know, but there's definitely going to be the Codex.
I mean, I'm getting the vibe from this and for the Custodes one that they're kind of doing what they did with Ninth, where if there wasn't a like a big refresh on the way, you at least got a new model or a new unit or something.
And the Big Mech, to be fair, is one that's needed new models for a while. I don't think there's been a Big Mech made since I don't even know when the last one is.
There hasn't been one in plastic.
There hasn't.
Unless you've kit bashed one. So Big Mech in plastic.
I love the design of this though, just the way he's kind of integrated into all of the machinery. And it's kind of like it's kind of on his back. I can't think of the type of suit I'm thinking of, like kind of aliens.
Like a power loader.
Yeah, it's kind of like what the Sisters ones were supposed to be, but I think this is a bit cooler than those.
Yeah, and it looks just as good with the alternate build options as well. So they've done a really good job of whichever way you...
Let's have a look. That's a very cool orky head there. And you see it's got some kind of different... I don't even know what that weapon is.
That will be a custom blaster. It's like a big version of what the spanners use in... like looters and scorcher units. It's basically the orc version of a plasma gun. So it's orc plasma, which sounds gross, but
So there you can see that one's the tractor blaster, and
which is what was in the rumor engine.
Yeah, and there's the shock booster's the thing on his back now. I thought shock booster, this is the thing that's on the shock attack gun. Apparently it just makes him go really fast rather than jump. Is that a thing that orcs have had before? I only know the shock attack gun.
I'm not sure. It could be something to do with like the technology that they have in there, like speeders and like hot rods and stuff. Because it's a similar design to some of the things that are on the... on the stuff they got in 8th.
Cool. And there's obviously this Battle Force coming, where's the first place you can get hold of him. And I don't know how relevant Stompers are in the rules, but everyone loves the model. It's classic.
Yeah, I mean, they're 800 points in the new edition.
Oh, not cheap then.
No, but they are very, very shooty, very, very stompy, hence the name. And they can take a lot of firepower and they're a good transport. So I am hoping, though, that for this battle force, they've actually redone the instructions for putting the Stomper together. Because with mine, it was like they got a 3-year-old to take some photos and...
Oh dear, those old Stomper instructions.
Just stick them randomly on bits of like paper and then round them haphazardly into a 1980s era photocopier and just assume that was going to be enough for a kit that's the size of a fully grown chicken.
So you can see there we've got Codex Orcs, obviously. It's a nice cover this time. Let's move on to the next one. And...
yeah. They've really brought back the squatty marine vibe.
I just don't get why it's so squashed. Like, I saw this in person. It looks all right in person.
Yeah.
It's almost as if this image of them had been squashed just a little bit by mistake.
Yeah.
It's the most generic Custodes ever, to be honest. And I don't get Custodes myself.
I mean, the whole thing about Custodes, their entire aesthetic is that they are not generic. And yeah, this is seriously, it's got the proportions of like a 3rd edition Space Marine.
Yeah.
Which, if Space Marines were still the proportions of the 3rd edition Space Marines, this wouldn't look out of place in modern 40k. But we don't have those. We have tall, lanky Primaris Marines, and this dude looks like he belongs in 3rd edition 40k.
Well, I didn't study it for too long when I got to see them, but this was actually, I seem to remember it was a fairly big model, like bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
From here. But yeah, it just doesn't grab me in any way. It's just like, this was a model that we brought out like 20 years ago. I wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
No, that's a bit unfair. 10 years ago.
Maybe 15.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it looks like a 40mm base, going by the proportions of the height of the rim compared to the width. So he's about the size of a Terminator. So not... I mean, he's standing on like a tactical ruin, but yeah.
There's some great details. I love the shield. The shield's very nice.
Yeah, the plume I think the plume is what... If you just scroll up enough to obscure the plume. Yeah, do that. Let's see how it looks without the plume.
Without the plume, like...
Yeah, like that.
Like that?
Yeah, just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. It looks like 10 times better without the stupid plume.
I guess so, but I can see why they're there, because, like, if the whole plume lifted off with the whole helmet, then it would just be a massive thing. I can see why the helmet comes off and the plume stays on.
Yeah, but take a little bit of the width off the shoulders, get rid of the plume, the model looks okay, but it looks like one of those models that there is an angle to it that looks really good, but it's not this one.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, we'll move on from the 40k stuff, good and bad.
I just think we need to mention that means that the Custodes Codex is also...
Oh, yes,
yeah.
I should have said.
So,
and, they also have a battle force coming out.
Yeah.
Which is... I don't know. I know nothing about Custodes, but I hear those jet bikes are good.
I mean, I'm curious as to the Codex itself, as to how many pages will be in it, given the limited number of units. And
they seem to be moving Sisters of Silence back to armies of the Imperium, agents of the Imperium, sorry.
Right, so they've actually lost 3 units then, plus the Sisters of Silence characters. They've whittled down the Custodes range, and yet you're probably still going to be paying like 35 quid for a book that covers its 12 units.
Yeah, so I'm sure Custodes players who just like winning and winning really, really decisively will have a whale of a time paying for that, because they have the massive discount on the amount of models they have to buy for their army.
Yeah.
Anyway, go back on. We have this chaos now. I can't remember, what did it say these were for. I know they're just like obviously Age of Sigmar miniatures, but they're not a Warcry warband. They're just bringing them out to tie in with the Warhammer Plus show.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're the Darkoath warband that was featured in the Hammer and Bolter episode. And I really enjoyed that episode. I thought it was really cool. And yeah, these models are, capture them really well. I love like the archer. We haven't seen any like horse-mounted Darkoaths, I don't think yet.
Yeah, these are nice and snazzy.
Yeah, they're typical like just basic like chaos warriors, chaos like kind of barbarian warriors at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got all the archetypes going. They're cool. Definitely love to see these in a Slaves to Darkness army. And this one, I love this one. It's so creepy.
Yeah.
Bird shaman thing.
Yeah. Looks like he's squatting to take a dump, but
yes.
Yeah. But yeah, they look great. I mean, I never renewed my Warhammer Plus subscription.
Yeah, that is completely fair.
Yeah, I think I might wait a few more years until they've got more than like 10 minutes worth of actual content on there. Yeah, it was a little bit disconcerting at first that you never knew when exactly the next episode of anything was coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, okay, you get like a free model thrown in, and there's a voucher thrown in for like 50 quid subscription, but the content itself, I mean, I understand it's getting better, and I will maybe when I turn 50 I'll treat myself.
Fair enough.
And watch a decade's worth of back episodes. But yeah.
Right, well, that's the Darkoath. Next, it's the gnomes. We've had some Blood Bowl. Now, these were just enchanted in person. Like, I got to look at these all properly, and oh, they're so beautiful. There's a little badger there. There's a fox that's got the ball and is really, really fast with it. I just love these. They're so cute, and like they're almost like not Warhammer at all. Like, there's kind of touches, but it's just completely different to the standard stuff. And I guess they've done that a lot with Blood Bowl.
Yeah, I love the Goosey boy.
Yeah. These are just they're very tiny, so I'm really impressed with the paint jobs on these. Just absolutely beautifully painted. Yep, gnomes. Give me all the gnomes. And they also had this new tree man, which I think is a really nice take on it, because it's kind of like you can see the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings influence in the shape of it, but also it kind of reminds me of the what's his name, the Bakshi Lord of the Rings animation. There's something about like kind of like the low crotch and the long torso thing that really calls that back.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty sexy. I mean, he doesn't look like he's gonna be that big as well, going by the base size.
No, this is like I'd say this is probably about the size of a Terminator.
Yeah.
That.
Saying it looks like a 40mm base.
Yes. And there's some more pictures of it with another paint job.
Yeah.
Now, that's all the reveals. It was quite slim on the reveals. But the other thing we've had is the Sunday preview for what's coming up. Let's just run through it quickly, because we've had the Saviors of Cinderfall, which we previously saw.
Yeah.
And lovely kind of order-based little group there. And we have the Crone. What's her name? Crethusa the Crone Seer.
Yeah, I mean, I think last time I described her as like Seer having grown out her fringe even more.
Yes.
Yeah.
But look, absolutely lovely model. Glad that's getting released. Shame it's in such a disappointing box set with the Doomfire. What are they even called? I don't know what they're called. The Dark Riders, Doomfire Warlocks. Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
But we now have the Spearhead boxes, and when we did recently the Vanguard boxes review, we talked about how some of them weren't really worth getting.
Yeah.
Now we have a whole new choice of them. Here we have the Spearhead Stormcast Eternals, and as you can see, this is just the box for this, the starter box basically, with a bunch of stuff from that, including Indrasta, who you can't get anywhere else currently, I believe. It does seem a low model count, considering this will be like £85 to £90.
Yeah.
But it's cool models.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety in there that the previous Stormcast one didn't really have.
Yeah. Now, there may still be places to get the starter box with Indrasta, but she's been going for so much on eBay that you're probably going to be cheaper getting this one. So, unlike most of our ones where we might say, oh, don't bother buying the main factions because, like, you'll be able to get them cheaper elsewhere, you might not be able to with this one.
Yeah. I mean, buy the box and sell everything else if
if
that's all you want.
You also have the Cities of Sigmar one.
Yes.
Of course, they only came out recently, and they didn't launch with a starter box because obviously GW were just about to start phasing out the Vanguard ones, so you can see why they held off.
These look very nice.
This is a good selection. Like, for £85 to start an army, this would be tempting me.
Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, this is really leaning into the old Hammer vibe. Which I absolutely love. This sort of early Renaissance type.
Yeah.
The hint of like industrialization just about to come in, but everyone's still wearing cod pieces and pantaloons and all those crazy things that were apparently incredibly masculine back in the day.
Yes. I love the knights particularly. I love the cannon as well. And just all in all, I think that's a really good, well-rounded box. The last one that they're showing us now then is the Flesh Eater Courts, and they've had their range refreshed. So
I can't tell they've had their range refreshed.
That's a shame because these new models are all really, really good. Like,
they are really good models. It's just that they don't appear to me to be like very different from what came before.
Well, the original ones basically hardly had any trace of personality on them at all, but you got a lot of them, which was good. These ones, they've got touches like this kind of flayed flesh banner and like kind of wearing skulls on their heads and stuff, which, there was a couple of little details like that on the old ones, but I think they've really gone much more in here. There's the brand new knight things. I'm not sure what's the official name for them. Morbeg Knights, and the Vargolf Court, so that's a lot of new kits, basically. The oldest one in here is the Abhorrent Arch Regent, which at some point I'll remember the name properly. And that's only like, 4 or 5 years old, I think?
Yeah.
I believe that came out just before lockdown.
Oh, the world before lockdown.
This is the world before. Yes. So I think that's another pretty good deal. Obviously, you've got less of the crypt horrors than 10 crypt guard, I guess. Whereas the old ones, you used to get them in boxes of 20. So that's one of the give or takes of like getting new sculpts, really.
Yeah.
But I think that's all three of those are probably going to be worth buying for their respective armies.
Yeah.
Right. Well, also, I'll quickly say before we go, there has been like Warcry Terrain come out, which is some cool pieces, and
well, weren't those the bits that came in the latest like starter box? Definitely like the morph thing.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was the latest or if it was. There's been so many of them at this point, I can't remember. It's been a recent one anyway.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's been our look at all the hobby news, the reveals, and the Sunday preview. We hope you've enjoyed listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, and tell us what you think of these things in the comments as well. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
And find us on Facebook.
That too.
And do all the stuff. Do all the stuff that, everything. All the
Go
YouTube
do the work
stuff.
for us.
Yeah.
Right then, we've been Bleeding Tree Gaming. We will see you in the next one.
Bye
Bye bye.